Have you ever noticed that on some days your knee joints or hand joints suddenly hurt more, feel stiffer, or swell a little, even though you did not do anything heavy? What if I told you that the real reason may not be your age at all, but is hiding right in the everyday foods you eat? There are some foods that look harmless, even normal, but they quietly trigger inflammation and can make your joint pain worse in just a few hours. The dangerous thing is that most people over 50 have no idea this is happening. In today's video, I will show you the 15 most common foods that make your joint pain worse. And the great thing is, you will know exactly what to replace them with to reduce inflammation faster, ease joint pain, and move more comfortably, starting with small changes right from your very first meal. And so that you do not miss anything important, I want you to watch this video until the end, because the further we go, the more surprising the list will become. There are foods that almost everyone over 50 is eating every week without realizing they are making their joints hurt more. Understanding each food clearly and knowing how to replace it correctly will help you feel more confident every time you go grocery shopping. Choose meat, pick cooking oils, or plan breakfast. Many people only needed to swap just one or two foods and already noticed a big reduction in pain. So stay until the end so you know exactly what to avoid and what to choose instead. Before we dive into each specific food, I want to remind you of one important thing. This video is for educational purposes only and is meant to help you better understand how certain foods may affect your joints. Because everyone's health conditions and medications are different, please talk to your doctor if you are under treatment or want to adjust your diet. Once we are clear about safety, we will continue with the main content. And before we continue exploring each specific food, I would really like to know which city or state you are watching this video from. Older viewers of this channel always enjoy feeling connected in a large community. Just leaving a short comment will help this video be recommended to more people who are also looking for ways to reduce joint pain, just like you. Right now, we are going to move into the most important part of the video. These are everyday foods that many people over 50 are eating daily without realizing they are quietly increasing inflammation, making joints more swollen, stiff, and painful. As you go through each item, there is a good chance you will recognize a few of them sitting in your own fridge or kitchen. Do not worry. I will not just tell you do not eat this, I will also guide you on what to eat instead to help reduce inflammation naturally. This is the key that makes it easier for you to apply and maintain healthy habits in the long term. As I mentioned earlier, many familiar foods that seem harmless are actually quietly making your joints more swollen and painful every single day. And the most harmful group is sugary drinks. When you drink soda, sweet tea, or energy drinks, the high sugar content makes your blood glucose spike, triggering a whole-body inflammatory response. This pushes your body to produce cytokines, inflammatory substances directly linked to joint degeneration. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2020 showed that drinking soda daily significantly increases CRP, an important inflammation marker. The result is a higher risk of gout, knee pain, finger pain, and more severe rheumatoid arthritis. The best thing you can do is gradually cut back on soda and replace it with water, sparkling mineral water, or herbal tea. After talking about sugary drinks, another group of foods that can raise inflammation almost as quickly is white bread and refined starches. These foods make your blood sugar spike right after eating, which then triggers a strong inflammatory response in the body. Because all the fiber has been stripped away, refined starches are absorbed too quickly, causing insulin to surge and leading to a rise in cytokines, inflammatory substances directly linked to joint pain. A study in the journal Nutrients, 2017, showed that refined starches significantly increased inflammatory markers in older adults. The most common consequences are morning knee pain, wrist pain, and faster joint degeneration. To stay safer, switch to whole grain bread, barley, or sourdough. Right after refined starches, another culprit that older adults often do not suspect is processed meats like bacon, sausage, and pepperoni. These foods are very high in saturated fat and preservatives, which can make joints swell, turn red, and hurt just a few hours after you eat them. Even more concerning, they contain nitrites and AGEs, two factors that greatly increase oxidative stress and make joint tissues break down faster, According to a study published in Frontiers in Immunology, eating processed meat regularly can trigger a strong inflammatory response in connective tissue around the joints, especially in people over 50 whose joint systems are already more sensitive. The most noticeable results are more tingling in the hands, lower back pain, hip pain, and worse symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. For better joint health, you can switch to turkey bacon, lean chicken, or other fresh lean protein sources. Following processed meats, another silent culprit that many people often snack on while watching TV or when they are bored is packaged snacks like chips, crackers, or cheese puffs. These foods are loaded with trans fats, salt, and repeatedly heated oils, all of which drive inflammation and make joint swelling worse. Trans fats are especially dangerous because they change the structure of cell membranes, making inflammation stronger and longer lasting. Research from the Journal of the American College of Cardiology shows that trans fats increase cytokines, inflammatory molecules directly related to joint pain and morning stiffness. As a result, you are more likely to feel wrist pain, heavy knees, or numbness in the small joints of your fingers. A simple tip: replace snacks with healthier choices like roasted almonds, pumpkin seeds, cashews, or air-popped popcorn without butter. After packaged snacks, another factor that quietly makes joint inflammation worse is beer and alcoholic drinks. For people over 50, drinking beer regularly can increase uric acid, which then triggers sudden and very painful gout attacks. The reason is that purines in beer are converted into uric acid in the body, which then builds up in small joints like the toes, wrists, or ankles. A study published in Nutrients, 2021, also showed that alcohol can intensify inflammatory responses in people with rheumatoid arthritis, making pain last longer after each drinking episode. To protect your joints, you should cut down on beer and replace it with gentler options such as cherry juice, lemon water, or sparkling mineral water. After alcohol, another group of foods that cause strong inflammation is rich, sugary desserts like ice cream, cakes, canned pudding, or frozen cream cakes. The combination of sugar plus saturated fat creates a powerful inflammatory response that makes joint tissues more sensitive and easier to damage. When your body processes these foods, it produces AGEs, compounds that increase oxidative stress, weaken cartilage, and intensify pain in the joints. A study published in Nutrients, 2020, showed that diets high in sugar and fat raise IL-6 and several cytokines directly linked to arthritis. People over 50 often notice this as mild swelling in the joints, morning stiffness, or increased pain after dinners that include lots of sweets. A better solution is to replace ice cream and cakes with Greek yogurt, frozen fruit, or blended banana ice cream, which are naturally sweet and help reduce inflammation. Right after sugary high-fat desserts, another hidden source of inflammation that many people overlook is margarine and hydrogenated oils. These products contain trans fats, considered the most harmful fats for joint health. Trans fats change cell membrane structure, making joint tissues easier to damage, reducing their natural anti-inflammatory defenses, and leading to pain, warmth, and swelling after meals. A study from the Journal of Lipid Research, 2011, showed that trans fats strongly increase CRP, an important inflammation marker often elevated in people with arthritis or joint degeneration. For people over 50, whose immune systems and cartilage are already more sensitive, the impact of these fats is even more obvious, often showing up as shoulder pain, wrist pain, or difficulty moving in the morning. To stay safer, you should replace margarine with real butter, olive oil, avocado oil, or extra virgin coconut oil. Following hydrogenated fats, a very familiar food but a heavy hit to your joints is industrial pizza. Ready-made pizzas usually combine 3 inflammatory factors: refined flour crust, high-fat cheese, and processed meats like pepperoni or sausage. Together, they create large amounts of AGEs and sodium, causing your body to retain water and making joints swollen, warm, and painful within just a few hours after eating. According to a study published in the Journal of the American Dietetic Association, 2013, foods high in processed meat and refined flour significantly increase inflammatory responses in joint tissues. People over 50 often feel this as lower back pain, knee pain, or heavy joints after dinner. If you still enjoy pizza, try making it at home with a whole grain crust, plenty of vegetables, and a moderate amount of cheese so it is both tasty and much less inflammatory. After industrial pizza, a drink that seems safer but can trigger inflammation almost as much is diet soda. Even though it does not contain sugar, diet soda uses artificial sweeteners like aspartame or sucralose, which can disrupt the gut microbiome. When your gut bacteria are out of balance, your body's ability to control inflammation decreases, making joints more likely to hurt, swell, or feel stiff in the morning. A study published in Endocrinologia, Nutrition, 2015, showed that aspartame can increase oxidative stress and alter immune responses, promoting inflammation in people who already have joint conditions. Many people over 50 report that they feel more pain in their fingers, wrists, or knees a few hours after drinking diet soda. A safer alternative is to switch from diet soda to sparkling water, herbal tea, or diluted fruit juice, which are refreshing without triggering inflammation. After diet soda, another very familiar food that strongly drives inflammation is instant noodles. Many people choose instant noodles because they are quick and convenient, but most commercial noodles are extremely high in salt, made with repeatedly heated oil, and include MSG and preservatives. Salt makes your body retain water, causing joints, especially the knees and ankles, to swell and hurt more. Meanwhile, the omega-6 rich oils in the noodle packets stimulate the production of inflammatory substances in the body. A study published in Curious, 2023, showed that diets high in processed foods, especially instant noodles, increase IL-6 and TNF-alpha, two cytokines directly linked to arthritis. People over 50 often feel this as heavy legs, knee pain, or calf fatigue after eating noodles. Better options include rice noodles, barley noodles, or low-sodium dried pho, with added vegetables to keep things balanced. Following instant noodles, another inflammatory culprit that few people expect is grapeseed oil. Many people choose this oil thinking it is healthy, but in reality, grapeseed oil is very high in omega-6. When omega-6 is out of balance, your body produces more inflammatory eicosanoids, making joints more likely to swell and hurt. For people over 50, whose cartilage is already thinner and more sensitive, this imbalance has an even stronger impact. A study in the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism, 2012, showed that diets high in omega-6 significantly increase inflammatory cytokines, including IL-6, which is directly linked to arthritis and joint degeneration. Common symptoms include shoulder pain, hip pain, or stiff joints in the morning. Instead of grapeseed oil, use olive oil, avocado oil, or flaxseed oil to naturally help reduce inflammation. After grapeseed oil, another familiar food that can trigger strong inflammation is French fries. When potatoes are fried at high temperatures, they form large amounts of AGEs, compounds that increase oxidative stress and make cartilage in the joints wear down faster. On top of that, the frying oils are usually high in omega-6, which further promotes inflammation and makes joints more likely to swell or feel warm after meals. A study published in Prostaglandins, Leukotrienes, and Essential Fatty Acids, 2018, showed that industrial frying oils can increase systemic inflammation, especially in older adults. Typical symptoms include pain in the joints of the feet, wrist pain, or stiffness in the evening. A better solution is to switch to baked potatoes or baked sweet potatoes to minimize inflammation. After French fries, another food that can worsen joint inflammation is white rice. Although it is a daily staple, white rice has a very high glycemic index, making blood sugar rise quickly right after meals. When glucose spikes, your body responds by releasing insulin, followed by an increase in IL-6 and TNF-alpha, two cytokines directly linked to arthritis and joint degeneration. A study from the Journal of the American Heart Association, 2020, showed that diets high in refined starches, especially white rice, significantly raise inflammatory markers in older adults. Common outcomes are knee pain after dinner, heavy legs, or morning joint stiffness. A better solution is to switch to brown rice, quinoa, or wild rice to keep blood sugar stable and reduce inflammation. Continuing with high glycemic index starches, another group of foods that easily flare up arthritis is cheesecake and desserts that combine lots of sugar and full-fat dairy. When you eat these desserts, your body has to handle a large load of sugar and saturated fat at the same time, producing AGEs, compounds that increase oxidative stress and drive stronger inflammation in joint tissues. Research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that the combination of sugar and fat greatly increases inflammatory cytokines, especially IL-6, making older adults more likely to experience finger pain, morning stiffness, or worse pain after sweet heavy dinners. This is why people with rheumatoid arthritis or joint degeneration often feel their joints are more worn out after eating desserts like this. A gentler option is to choose low-fat yogurt, fruit, or chia pudding instead. To close out the list, one familiar food that many people do not suspect is corn-fed beef. This type of beef usually contains higher levels of saturated fat and omega-6, both of which can fuel inflammatory responses in joint tissues. When omega-6 levels are too high, the body tends to produce more cytokines, making joints swell, feel warm, or hurt more after meals. Research cited in Food for Thought, 2006, showed that diets high in saturated fat increase CRP and IL-6, two inflammation markers that are especially elevated in people with arthritis and joint degeneration. Older adults often notice this as knee pain, hip pain, or difficulty standing up after sitting for a long time. A better choice is to prioritize grass-fed beef, salmon, sardines, or other low-inflammatory protein sources. Before we finish, I would love to hear from you. Among these 15 foods, which one surprised you the most? And which one do you think you will start replacing first, so your joints can hurt less and move more easily? Just leaving a comment not only helps me understand what you care about, but also helps this video reach more people your age who are facing similar joint problems. If you found today's information helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss future videos about health after 50. Thank you for staying until the end, and I will see you in the next video with Dr. Emily Hartwell.